Good morning. Welcome to ABC 123 Trader. Today is September 2nd, 2022. It's 11:24 in the morning, and this is just going to be an education on the MACDSCAN of what I have been doing or designing. I changed a couple of things. All forms of trading carry high level risk, so you should only speculate with money you can afford to lose. You can lose more than your initial deposit and stake. Please ensure your chosen method matches your investment objectives. Familiarize yourself with the risks involved, and if necessary, seek independent advice. U.S. government required disclaimer: commodity futures, trading commission, financial instruments of any kind, including options, futures, and securities, have large potential risks, but also large potential risks. You must be aware of the risks and be willing to accept them in order to invest in options, futures, and stock markets. Do not trade with money you cannot afford to lose. Yada yada. Okay. Good morning, everybody. Mr. Mike here. I'm just playing around, as you can see, just on Sim. See if I can break this. I want to see if I can get to this stop out or this zone here. Just letting it vibrate, and I can see the stop outs going up. But anyways, the education is going to be about this thing, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a new chart on, so you can see it just as the basics, and then I might just add a couple of things so you can see why I'm building it. So I'm going to create a brand new chart. Oh, good thing I am on Sim. So anyways, okay, so as you can see, basic chart, Hank and Nash, you're going up and down, big drops, big gains, whatever. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add the MACDSCAN. The new updated version is on the Discord if you guys want. And I'm going to leave everything as is on the MACDSCAN. Perfect. This is the section I added, guys, so we'll talk about it later here. Okay. Now, here's your MACDSCAN right here, okay? And so basically what I was trying to do is I was cleaning a few things up. We can actually turn off, I'm going to turn off a couple lines right now. Comparison lines. I'm going to turn off the timeline. Okay, so data mining MACDSCAN is comparing notes from previous market to current market trends. Okay, that's what the gray is previous, and this is current. Okay, so basically what the times are the areas where I think possibility of turnover time. So if you looked at 10:07 on the previous information, it did hit it right on the money and it took off. Okay, so let's so you can understand. Actually, I'll use the cursor so you can understand. Right here, 10:07, right down here. And if you look straight up at 10:07, it decided to turn. Boom. Perfect trade there. 10:16, it did hit the peak, but it never worked. And now it looks like there was an inversion at 10:41, right down here at the peak. And guess what? It did hit right on the money. Okay. 10:41, almost within a minute or two. So it looks like it did work for those couple of zones. Okay, that's what these times are. 8:30, you can see it fired. 9:11, nope, it needed one more wave, and you can pick these zones out. So what you look for is for zone A to zone B to see if they keep on working and see if the wave patterns are matching. You know, could match, maybe not, whatever. But it's just as a guide. But now let's open this up here. What I tried to do, what you can try to do is where the red markings are and the green markings are areas of interest if you want to try to jump in the trade for the short to go for it, jump in the long to go long. Okay, try to go long here. This would have been that knockout stop, but away you go. So point A to point B, point A to point B, point A to point B, or wherever your targets are. And this is when you start adding those other indicators like the stop outs and everything, okay? But this, what I added here, these bands, okay, are kind of reference points of maybe where the turnaround is. Because sometimes when we look at something, or at charts, we say, when is it going higher or low? And I've been playing around, and I'll show you on YM as well. But I designed it basically because I'm a NASDAQ trader, so this is the NASDAQ numbers I put in there. But what you can do, you can always change your references. They can even cross-lap or whatever. Overlap, I mean, not cross-lap. But basically I said start zone and how big of a zone it is. Start zone 2, how big of a zone it is. So if I went from 10 to, let's say, 5 and 10 across, there's going to be actually a gap here between the two. Okay? See? I put it a little bit lower. 5, there's a little black gap there. It's just how big the bands are for point A to point B for the upper and lower zones. Okay? So I'm going to put it back where I have it, just the basics. So I'm going to put it from 10, 10. So basically starting at 10 and giving another 10 spacer, starting at 20, giving another 10 spacer, and then what your opacity is at 15, let's say. I'll drop off the opacity, make the bands a little lighter color so you can understand. So it's just a little bit of lighter color, and you know, just the fancies. Okay. So what I also added on this zone here, where it currently is, perfect. So when the bar is increasing, for example, let's look at the decrease. I'm going to open this up a little bit more so you can see what's happening here. I might actually do a little bit more program. I'm not sure yet. I've pretty much done this indicator. But you know how she whipped right down and came back up and was going for a second attempt? I'm just using, this was the max line, has how far it went on this cycle here. Currently the maximum cycle on this one is at probably, well, right here at 311, right? So we can see if this bar is going to start shifting up higher and higher and higher. But what I'm most interested in is when the MACD gets into my purple zones. See how you peak, and once it starts retracing, I can take a trade, or I can wait for that divergence like this. Okay, so this one hit the gold zone, so we're saying, okay, let's see if it does it again. Second gold zone hit 1007, divergent pattern, jump in, away you go. That's what it's for. Okay, that's what I designed it for, because I've been watching for quite a while that if it gets in certain zones, like if it's playing in this zone, we're getting caught in chop. If you're waiting for the crossover, you can try to get it early enough energy. But if I'm watching this market going down in correlation to my stop outs and areas of zones of interest, I can use this area to get in my trade. Or I can use, like right now, this one's pushing down. I'm not looking at any delta. But see, I'm not in a really good area. Well, we would have taken the first trade earlier, maybe made a few points or whatever, and let this drop down. But you know what we do is we're looking at, this was going down, and it never hit the sweet spot. See, guys, not in the sweet spot. It's still in the black zone. So we're just going back and forth, the chop, I'll call it. So if I know if I can get down to the more extremities and then turning around, I could probably get a good trade in. Same thing here, get a good trade coming back. Here, we never got to that point, so now we're playing in the chop. That's what I use it for. Okay, that's the bottom line of this indicator. Now, when I add it with, for example, my stop outs, so now that's going to be a push down with that noise. Okay. As you can see, here are my stop outs. So it looks like they knocked everybody out. If you were trying to get into the trend thinking you're making all this money, you get knocked out again, and then it takes off. And see, they're trying to get to this zone here at 66. Our stops are getting higher. Okay. And I think it might get to this stop out today, or they're going to knock these guys out for liquidity and continue on. So when you're using this, matching these up, then you can see what I'm trying to do. And then when I'm adding My other one, I call it the see it through. Let it load up. Then I can use the see it through references for the blue, the crossover on the blue. You can see we're getting our selling. Orange is the buying. And now, in correlation with the orange, well, that's whatever, news event. But when we're going into the blue and to see we're not into that extremity zone, we were in the extremity zone here for saying maybe we're cashed out for now, then we would have closed. And now this thing looks like it was crashing, but guess what? We could have taken an early enough trade here. No, it actually it changed right down here. So yeah, so you make a few points, but that's about it. But as you can see, we're in chop. We're playing in here. We could check volume point of control and see where we are. And as you can see, all this gold band, red band, gold band. See, this is all chop. Solid green, away you go. Solid green, away you go. You got a little bit on the red there. Solid green, away you go here. Let's go farther back. See, solid red, away you go. Solid red, away you go. So you're using, you're using color codes. You're using stop outs for areas of interest for targets. You're using the MACD, the time. I'm trying to add everything up. I mean, you know, after, I don't know if you've been following me for a while, I have a lot of different indicators for doing a lot of different things. But what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to, I won't say normalize, but I'm trying to specialize certain areas for certain things. And I've been playing around here. And the last thing is, let's go back on the stop out here. I displayed the stop count. I'm going to put this to, I want a thicker line here so you can see here. Okay. So as you can see, these numbers were increasing, means their bias was try to pushing it up, basically. Before, let's keep on going here, where the chop is 1 2 is 1 2. See, the bias was increasing again, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. Before this was the big one, so they're still trying to push it up. And right now we're in chop. We're getting to a certain crunch time in a half an hour, maybe 12 o'clock hour. Maybe they'll creep it up to here and then maybe crash it again. I'm not looking at long time frames, but I'm just showing you as just a picture in time on trading. And that's about it. So with the MACD indicator, you can use this. Oh yeah, I was going to show you on YM, for example. Micros, they're all the same. And you can adjust your numbers. So on the YM, see, there was something that really crashed here on the YM the other day, 90 points. That's insane. But as you can see, once it gets up past a certain zone and starts pulling back, there's your bump. And look at this, we're still above that area. Probably this would be second attempt. Yeah, you can see it's still growing, second attempt, and then crash. This was a good fade here. On the other side, as you can see, it broke to the extremes, doing its pullback, second attempt, and away you go again. I think I might program that one line for you guys so you can see. Then you'll know. Other than that, that's all I want to do is just education today. Just make sure you pinpoint your trades. Trade safe, guys, and you guys have a great day. Take care.